Hey everybody, I'm out of town traveling to Georgia and staying in a hotel room, but I still wanted to share my thoughts on the season finale of Peacemaker as well as the season as a whole. Be sure to join me down below in the comment section. Let me know, what did you think about Peacemaker as a whole, the season finale in particular, and are you excited that they've announced that it has been renewed for a second season? So what did I think about Peacemaker as a whole? I thoroughly enjoyed the season from beginning to end, so much more so than I was expecting. Coming out of the Suicide Squad, they intentionally make Peacemaker the least likable character, the one you least want a spinoff for, and the one that you empathize with the least, and the one that feels the most like a cartoon character. So then they put out the trailer for it, and it seemed kind of quirky fun, but didn't immediately hook me, grab me. Wasn't sure about it. And then as soon as the show starts, you really start to understand what they're going for with it and how they're showing that where the Suicide Squad ended is the starting point for the character in this, that choice that he made sets him down this course of kind of deconstructing his entire worldview and taking this cartoon character that's very campy but very violent and does some despicable things and somehow managed to pull the humanity out of him. And really that's what James Gunn has always been really good at, is taking these over-the-top, bizarre characters and finding the humanity inside of them, and in particular working with ensembles. So the other thing that worked really well about this show is that you like the whole cast. You like the entire ensemble of characters. They have good chemistry with one another. They're fun and interesting on their own. Each of them is broken enough that there's conflict. They have personal struggles they need to overcome, but broken in a way that you see the hope in them, that you want them to change, you want them to transform, and you want them to grow together, and you see how the group is what brings the best out of them. And that's what Guardians of the Galaxy was, that's what the Suicide Squad was, and that's what this is. And that was a little bit surprising because you go into it, it's called Peacemaker. It's not Guardians of the Galaxy, it's not the Suicide Squad, it's Peacemaker. But James Gunn, his gift are those ensembles, a group that's great together. And once again, he brought that to this show. And then even beyond that, the first half of this show, it's a little bit slow to let you know exactly kind of what's going on. And so you're entertained mostly by the dynamic between the characters. But when you get to the back half of the show, you start to actually care about this alien invasion plot line. It's intriguing. There's just enough conspiracy stuff to it, just enough to kind of get you wrapped up in the story and make it compelling. And just enough subplots, just enough betrayal amongst the team, just enough growth amongst some of them that it makes you care about each choice made by each individual character. And then also, as you went along, the stakes, the size, the scope of the action sequences started getting bigger and bigger and bigger as you see the entire police force getting taken over by butterflies. And then, of course, you get to the big finale, and there's gigantic... Well, next to last episode, you have all the white supremacists getting in a battle and getting slaughtered, and then you have all the people that have been taken over by the aliens in this massive battle with explosions and people getting mowed down with machine guns and bombs and gigantic creatures and stuff like that. It actually paid things off. And then, of course, in the final episode, they have that nice little... Justice League bit that they actually paid it off, and we got to see at least two of their faces that they actually brought the actors in, and then I guess the two that are still I guess they could have had Gal too, but yeah, you have two of them actually interacting, joking back and forth with one another. It's just a fun, nice little touch there. Of course, also as you see Superman floating there, it just reminds you of the fact of however WB has just botched this deal with Superman. Kind of reminds you of that when you have him floating there, and likewise when you don't have Batfleck there. Reminds you once again of all the different things WB has botched over the last 5 years, and then absence of Cyborg seems a little bit in poor taste in light of controversies over the last couple of years. But just in general, they gave me a set of characters I cared about, a story that as it went along I got invested in, and then actually developed the characters as individuals and pulled them together as a team, and then paid it off with big action. And of course, tons of James Gunn, wildly inappropriate, hard R humor, crass jokes, violent jokes, all of that fun stuff kind of going on there. One thing, the finale that I wasn't so crazy about is when we get to finally the moment we're going to blow up the cow and the aliens tell us what they're really doing, and the real villain behind all this that's pushing their actions. The aliens have to do this. It's Republicans. Really? Just out of the blue, we've decided that's where we're going. Like, you could say all sorts of allusions out through the season, but it's not like this show was political allegory in any meaningful sense. It's not like the finale was saying something about politics. And no, it was this very simplistic take of, well, we need to save the earth from yourself because of that group of people. Like I said, no insight about how we fall into tribes. We can't listen to each other anymore. We tend to villainize people that disagree with us. No, his final take on it is to villainize people, to make the actual villains of the season not quite as bad as we initially thought they were. Just a really weird note to throw in in the last 15 minutes that doesn't really fit with what they'd been doing up to that point in time. And a very odd statement, and not really a helpful one. Doesn't really help your cause to throw things like that, whatever he was going with it. Very odd note to throw it at the end there. So, but otherwise, for the most part, just a really fun piece of escapism with characters I cared about. And then I guess the other one, or I guess the other observation on this is that if you look back over if you go back 3 months, if you had told me that Peacemaker was going to be much, much, much better than Book of Boba Fett, would have called you crazy. But that's where we're at. That this show just week to week was more engaging, more interesting, more entertaining. And it got to the end of it, I was like, that was really good. That was really well written. It was very entertaining. And it actually had like an emotional core to it where it could take a series of jokes about dying a beard and turn it into a personal, heartfelt moment. And that's what James Gunn does so well, and that's what he did so well here. And Book of Boba Fett didn't do that. So, shocked as anyone, but the internet's been making that observation for a whole month now that, wow, Peacemaker is a lot better than Book of Boba Fett. Who would have guessed that? But also, Jack Reacher is way better than Book of Boba Fett, too. Anyway, I'm rambling on about Book of Boba Fett that broke my heart last week. So that's my take on it. Let me know what you thought about the finale as well as the season as a whole down below in the comments section. Like I said, I can't do a normal review because I'm in a hotel room even right now trying to not talk too loud and wake anybody up because this place doesn't have the best soundproofing. But thank you guys so much for watching, and keep talking movies and TV too much.